Hey peeps, welcome back. I want to talk to you about Dead by Daylight, and specifically how behavior has been getting really fucking greedy lately. So, a little while back, something interesting happened. Behavior has introduced limited time cosmetics and outfits into Dead by Daylight. Now, their official reasoning was, of course, that the shop has gotten too clustered, too like obscure, there are too many things in it, and they wanted to make those things like it's less cluttered, more neat. But that is a lie. Even if they internally, some designers justified it like that, this is a lie. And I'm going to speak plainly. This is a lie. This is a common tactic used by other companies, and in one egregious manner. Basically, it relies on FOMO. FOMO is an abbreviation of fear of missing out. Essentially, when a human being is confronted with the possibility of either missing out on something entirely or potentially missing out on it for a year or a decently long period of time, they are scared into buying something they wouldn't normally buy. Which is why a lot of the modern game shops are on this like rotation thing where you can only buy a few things and then reset the next day or next week or whatever. So if you see something you are really pressured into buying, and this is how psychology works in humans. If you don't buy cosmetics in general, you might not like understand this, but this works, and this is why people do this. So this is the first little cash grabbing move that they've done. The next thing is actually quite subtle. It is in regards with Deep Rift, which a lot of people, including myself, who kind of glossed over because not that many people actually care. But it's actually very interesting. So the reason is, previously the Rift in DPD wasn't that much of a thing, like it wasn't that much of an issue. And the reason why is that pretty much every cosmetic in a given Rift, like some time passed, like a year or two, and you would see those cosmetics come back into a shop. Community cosmetics were available only for Eatery shards, and then the paid cosmetics were available for Oryx cells. But recently Behavior has introduced some new tiers after 70, 15 tiers after that, called the Deep Rift, which are only available in the Deep Rift and aren't coming back into the shop. So they're also exclusively on the paid tier of their Battle Pass, the Rift, which means this is a pretty good tactic to encourage people who wouldn't normally buy the Rift to actually go and buy the Rift and try to grind out the game. And just is a scummy tactic as well, that they've now introduced even more limited stuff instead of just, I don't know, expanding the Rift. But like, it isn't like exclusive, but it's just there for you if you want more. But they have to make it kind of an enticing deal to convince players is that they have to go and get a Battle Pass, they have to go and ride it to tier 85, otherwise they're missing out on things. So that is a big L, and I don't like it. But moving forward, we've also recently in I believe 7.10, in the Nicolas Cage chapter, they've basically added indicators to the shop, which are big nasty pop-ups. Well, no pop-ups, but like notification icons. You know how some apps on your home screen, even on your phone, sometimes just create thousands of like notifications, so it always has like a little red icon that will tempt you to go open and like spend money or something. That is essentially what Behavior is done with the shop. And the more even egregious part is you cannot even just like go click on the thing and then just mark it as red. No, unlike some notification, you actually have to open the shop, you have to go specifically and inspect the cosmetic, like go way up and close into it, and then maybe it will register. But for something like the Alien DLC we just recently, it will literally not disappear for me. So that's another thing. Another thing besides that, then just in the 7.1 update, is the little Rift. Whenever you're doing archives and you haven't like actually opened the Rift for the first time, it'll do a giant pop-up with like Not like previously how you would have like the archives menu. It would do a big one for a fucking entire Rift banner, and then it'll go and give you a promotional ad video for you. Go buy banner, go buy things, go buy, go consume. And besides that, the thing we're gonna do with Nicolas Cage chapter, and also with Alien chapter coming out just recently, is their newest tactic. So you may know there has been a controversy about family sharing. Basically, Steam, and this was wrongly misattributed to BHVR for a second, disabled family sharing, like DLCs, if you already own the game, both of you. So you cannot share DLCs with someone who already owns the game in your family. All you need to do is just remove the game from your account and then works fine. But people got mad at BHVR, it was like, they didn't know. But there is actually a sinister move about family sharing by Behavior. If you don't know, previously normal chapters for Dead by Daylight costs around $7, right? So it costs around $7, and that is actually cheaper than its price in Oryx cells. 1,000 Oryx cells is what you would get for what you would need for a normal chapter in DBD. Killer and the Survivor, 500 Oryx cells, 500 Oryx cells, that's like $10, right? So the thing they've done is they've now attached a non-exclusive cosmetic that is just in the store. You can buy normally, you can buy separately. They forcibly attached it to the DLC package. So now you can't save any money on the DLC because it's actually way more expensive than just buying it with the cosmetic separately or like the skin separately. It's more expensive. And the second thing, it is disencouraging family sharing. And why it's discouraging family sharing? Because now it's way more of an upfront price than before. If previously, even if you weren't sharing with someone, it was like still kind of a good idea to just wait for the DLC. Now it's a really hard sell, because now you're forced to buy a chapter for like twice the price for a useless skin you don't actually want, that you could buy separately, to family share, which is a big thing. If previously for a lot of people it might have not been like at all like any investment, oh, I'm gonna buy a chapter anyway, but now I need to pay more to share with my friend, which can be a big deterrent. So, besides that, if you also look at the amount of like licensed heroes and like all like the amount of shit they've been putting out, they've put out tons and tons more stuff, despite the biggest complaint in the game in like I think right now is that just their pace sucks. They need to slow down. They've released rush goes after rush goes after rush goes, and this is shown even recently. If you remember my video, the very terrible microphone video about the Nicolas Cage HMH chapter post PDB changes, do you remember how long it was? The entire video was like 3 minutes, and then there were some changes to Sadako. There was an animations rebirth, and then there was a Scorchuk Hangman Strike change that wasn't even making it to the live release. It was so late they didn't even make it to the window of live release. So that was, I think, a clear indication that they bit off more than they could chew. But it got even worse in the next chapter, the Alien chapter. So this chapter came with a bunch of things, and it had pretty big post-PDB changes, like the visual feedback. I think there were some number changes and like a lot of turret changes and a bunch of things. But you know what didn't happen? A developer post-PDB update. Which means, but it doesn't mean that the developers have, like, I don't know, had nothing to change since the PDB. They definitely did. The reason why is because they're rushing. They're rushing so hard, they couldn't like release this a few weeks early, because they didn't have a concrete roadmap on what way would change, or what is making into a live patch. So amidst like all the rushing and all the extreme hell, they've significantly expanded the cosmetics division as well. And if you were on Twitter, sorry, X, a little bit, or just generally hanging out in spaces where people care about cosmetics, you can notice the cosmetics descriptions have become a lot worse. Like to a point where it is like 2016 tier cosmetic descriptions, but somehow even worse, where it's just like she kind of likes the outfit being like a description for an outfit. While previously you could get like literally like 2 paragraphs of lore. And it's clear to me, at least, that behavior in their I think we saw what was happening with Skull Merchant. I think we saw what was happening with Knight. And considering that I don't think anyone really bought cosmetics for those characters, and considering that nobody really was interested at all in any of this, I think we shifted the model quite a bit. Another thing, by the way, is the new Rift system, or rather the new Tomes system, is the Tomes now come directly after a chapter, and they talk about the character that was just in the chapter, if it was original. So that is actually another change motivated purely by money, no sort of quality. If you just make a release and then make a Rift right afterwards, then you encourage more players to buy the DLC. So that's another thing, I guess, to the pile. But yeah, I think the general changes have been motivated by a lack of money since like releasing the Knight or something, because it makes to me no sense why you get this hyper profit oriented all of a sudden. Behaviors, for all their flaws and outrageous prices on cosmetics, thanks, it wasn't a fine spot ish a little bit ago. But I'm really disliking the way behavior is heading towards hyper monetization of this game. I'm genuinely will not be surprised if we go to a rotational shop soon, and we'll see a price hike on cosmetics, we'll see a price hike on chapters in general, and besides the fucking cosmetics bundle. I'm getting more and more confident that behavior is pumping out licenses in such a short amount of time. Like, I think we said like we have 3 licenses in a row, like Nicolas Cage, then Alien, and we said another big license coming. And my honest guess is that this must be a very profit-oriented change. Like, we pump out licenses, we get more profits because we hyper monetize our game, and we get more player numbers, we get more things, and we can just say, hey, things are good. Don't look at the bounce, don't look at everything else, just hey, look at this, it's good. And I am really disappointed, and I think a lot of the stuff that has been going on has just been in the moral gray zone, at least in ethics. And I know a lot of people might come in the comments and say, hey, but Kizu, this is just normal industry practices. And I'm sorry to say this, but you're stupid if you say that. Like, if a general practice in a country becomes, we should murder all people of this group, is that a good practice? No. Murder is bad. But it's the practice. So some people are going to say, well, it's a practice, so it's okay. And I just don't hold to that. I don't subscribe to that ideology. I think a thing is bad, it's going to be bad, no matter like how many other people are doing it. So I think the direction behavior is heading in is terrible. And I vehemently oppose all the monetization changes that have come out recently. And I sincerely hope that with enough community pushback, the Padilla can head to a better future where developers aren't rushing to make chapters all the time. They aren't working on 7 builds of the game at the same time. They can rewrite the code from a blueprint state that it is in. And I don't know, maybe we can get a project half chapter like the Rainbow Six Siege one. Hard video to make, honestly. Thanks for watching, everyone. This was Kizu. I'll see you next time.